welcome back. Thank you for letting me know about my sound problems. Let me know if they are improved. I did some fiddling. I'm not terribly optimistic that my fiddling was effective, but we'll see. Thank you. So, deepest apologies for bad sound quality. Okay, I am back to doing now light blue at the moment, but I'm back to doing in the dance of painting, in the process. Good painting, good paintings are the result, are the product, if you will, of good process. And I use an analogy to describe what is good process, and I call it the dance. And the dance has these steps in it: large steps and small steps, light steps and dark steps, literal steps and abstract or expressive steps. Okay, so my last layer was large, dark, and I would put it in the expressive category. Large, dark, and expressive. Now I'm doing small, light, and literal. So actually the opposite in all three categories. At the moment I'm doing light blue. I'm doing light, and I'm doing fairly literal. And I hope you can already begin to see the effect of painting, the good effect of painting in layers. The last stage that I did orange, yellow, orange over much of the canvas, and especially this tree. So let me go to an area, let me zoom in a little bit so you can really see what I'm saying. The danger with me zooming in like this is I sometimes forget that I'm zoomed in and go on painting all over the place. So I wish you could. Okay, so you see this area right here. That's several things, but it's the last two layers are opaque blue, light opaque blue, then with orange on top of it, right? So at one time I was seeing that as a sky hole, but then I did orange on top of it. Well, then that allows me to come back then with a light blue. Whoops, I'm about to sneeze. Woohoo! Bless me, thank you. That allows me to come back and do light blue again. In fact, the process you see me doing right here, I could do over and over and over again. So now, do you see the complexity that I just created so easily right there? Now I've got the stuff, the blue with orange on top of it, looks like a leaf color, but it's farther away. It's subtle, it's pushed back. Those aren't leaves that are up close, those are far away leaves. And accomplished that so easily simply by doing what you just saw me do. Okay, I am remembering to zoom back out. Hallelujah. Not that far. Very good. Sounds better at the moment. Okay, woo, glad to hear it. Thanks, guys. At some point in this process, I'm going to have to get really serious and figure out where my branches really are and aren't. But here's the good news. I don't really need to decide that all at once. So I'm just going to keep on merrily on my way, doing layer, layer, layer. And let me back you up just for a second and take a look at this tree. Abstract though it be, as abstract as it is, I'm happy to say it is beginning to take on a three-dimensional feel. It doesn't look, and of course these shadows and the lights, anyway, it doesn't look like a flat tree, does it? It looks like a dimensional tree on the canvas. So I'm happy about that. It's already beginning sort of with a minimum of arm wrestling on my part. What I call arm wrestling is when you put on your Superman telegraphic eyeballs and you look carefully, and you start drawing, in this case, one branch, one silly little branch at a time, leaf or twig or whatever, and you try to get it accurate. That's what I call arm wrestling. That's drawing, and there's a place for drawing, of course. But too much of that, and what happens is you end up with what most students end up with is exhaustion at some point, and they just can't keep up that level. Again, unless you're extremely, it is obsessive compulsive, unless you're anal retentive like Bob Timberlake, and I like Bob. I don't say this with criticism. It's just a description, an explanation of his style of painting. You have to have patience like crazy. And what you end up with is every branch. Well, hello, Pooch. Oh, I've heard about this. Give me here. Oh, look at you. I just got startled by a German Shepherd. I didn't see him coming. Didn't see her coming. But the owner told me she was very friendly, and I believe the owner. I kind of like German Shepherds. Grew up not owning them, but grew up playing with them.
How's it going?
Hello. Very good. Do you recognize your tree?
Oh my gosh, look at that. Wow.
Coming little by little. So, and I'm talking to people here on the YouTube, and they're always delighted when people come up. Yes, there's the owner, I mean not the owner, but the resident of the house. When I was trying to tell them earlier, when was the house, the original structure built? Do we know?
Somewhere around just after the Revolutionary War, we'd be talking about 1780s.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhere right in there.
That is so fun. Wow. And so, the way I teach the painting process is I paint layer by layer by layer. So this is probably the 6th or so layer, 7th maybe, okay. and double that many to go. So the painting, the tree just emerges slowly, little by little by little, out of the mist, out of the mess, so to speak.
Coming out of it, so to speak.
Yeah, right. And yeah, in fact, I'm talking about that a lot here. Is the hard part about rendering any tree, but especially a big, glorious tree like this. It is so dimensional. I mean, these branches are right over our heads almost,
right.
And then 50 feet that direction are the opposite branches, and so it's extremely dimensional. How do we capture that on a flat canvas?
Yeah.
That is the challenge, and it's not easy to do.
Well,
but,
I am in admiration.
Well,
I'm one of the ones that can't do a straight line.
Yeah, well, I try to avoid straight lines at all costs, especially doing a tree. But thank you.
But yeah, I don't know how old the tree is, but I have to think it was certainly here during the Civil War.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like to hike, and on the 18th, what's called the Keeper Oak, which is somewhere around the early 1800s. They were saying it may have seen the Revolution.
Wow.
Maybe not. But
yeah.
It's about.
Does it compare to this one?
This one is something like 5 to 6 inches in circumference smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have to think it certainly saw the Civil War.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah, the owner, he and I both, but he does things. He just had a crew out here to trim it back, and try to prolong the life.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's seen better days, but it's got some life.
Yeah. And we're lucky it didn't go with whatever, Hurricane Fran. There were so many trees like this that came down. Were you here? Were you in this part of the country when Fran hit?
We were in Cary.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you were close enough. Yeah.
We remember, we actually lived on a heavily wooded lot. Yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah, we did too. I say we had an acre of woods, and then we had an acre of wood.
Where were you living?
Well, yeah, at the time, when you go on 401 back toward Raleigh, and you cross Ligon Mill,
yeah,
we were a mile and a third up on Ligon Mill. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
We've got some friends there, the Thompsons.
Have they been there that long?
Quite a while.
Wow, no kidding.
Just down past that church.
What are their first names?
Stavey and Mike.
No, I don't think I know them.
Yeah, they're Ligon Mill. They have some horses.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It's a beautiful area. And then we lived all over, and now we're kind of back out this direction again. Now we're off in Mitchell Mill side of 401.
Okay.
So I came up Mitchell Mill to get here today.
My wife may be home a little bit later.
Okay. Oh, good. Oh, that'll be fun. Well, I'm having a great time, and it's turned into a gorgeous day. Oh, my goodness.
Boy, I tell you, yeah, give me another 6 months.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, this is wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
People talk about global warming, and it's like, well, you know, this is great.
Yeah, that's right.
You get enough cold to kill off all the bugs.
Yeah. That's funny.
And the cold nights are fine.
Yeah.
Then you get gorgeous days
like this,
in the
yeah.
60s where you don't have to worry about the bugs or the poison ivy.
Yeah.
The snakes or critters. And it's like, well, this is the best of
That's
both,
right.
really.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay, well, I'm going to head out.
Okay. It looks like you're hiking. Or have you been hiking?
Well, I'm going.
Yeah, good. Good for you.
Stay in shape. So.
Do you have trails, or you just walk through the unmarked woods?
Well, actually, I'm going to drive over to Durant Park.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a bit of a drive from here.
About 15 miles. Yeah, not
Yeah.
too far, but it's, we don't have a lot.
Now, I've been to Mitchell Mill a couple times, which is now a park, right? I think I remember when it was not a park. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I mean, there's a park over here.
All I know is if you keep going right straight down Mitchell Mill, you come to where the original Mitchell Mill was. And that's also a park. And I think it's a state park.
It's
very
the
unmarked.
same. If you go down here to the intersection,
You
take a left.
you saying turn left? Really?
On Pulley Town.
Yeah.
Just past the little bridge, not even a mile down, half a mile maybe. But just right over there, there's a sign, and that's actually a state park.
Interesting. I wonder if it connects.
State park.
That's right. I wonder if it connects to the Mitchell Mill part.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for your hospitality here again today. Appreciate it.
I mean, we get photographers sometimes.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, look at all this.
Like a graduation
Yeah.
picture, or some woman, young girl wants a picture with a horse down by the old
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
So feel free to look around.
Oh, well, thank you.
No problem
Okay.
with that.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Good. I appreciate that very much.
All
Okay, have a good hike. Thank you. Okay, while I've got the blue done. Let me go ahead and do some more light on the branches. So again, I'm going to use opaque white and looking for places where the sun is really coming through and hitting. Yeah, if I may be overly elementary just for a minute, I think one of the mistakes that many artists make, and again, not you, but artists that you know, they tend to think of branches. I think I do this myself still too much. That we tend to think of branches as dark things or brown, even brown things. When we go to paint a branch, like I did here and here, we pick up dark paint. And again, worse yet, even getting locked into dark brown paint to render our branches. And that's part of the reason we have a hard time achieving the illusion of dimension. Because in fact, the lightness, the sun hitting the branches, the branches that are light in value are just as, in fact, even more important to the illusion of depth as are the dark branches. See, the darks all kind of lay flat. The light marks like I'm putting on right now are what brings something forward. So, whoops. So I was holding that brush so delicately I dropped it. So all of the marks, for instance, that I'm putting right now, can you see they all, and I'm not trying to render any particular branch, I'm just giving I'll come back and clean this up later, I'm just giving the impression, but all of those marks now totally are coming toward us. Can you see that? I hope you can, yeah? So don't slip into the trap of thinking branches are dark. Now we're used to that. Here, let me show you this tree just for a second. Again, some of you haven't seen it since you joined us late. But look at these branches out here against the sky. Why, in our sort of simple childlike mind, why do we think branches are dark? Well, there's the answer right there. Because silhouetted against a blue sky, branches are dark. But look, when we then turn the camera and look at the tree, oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch of light branches in there. Do you see? So that's why I think, again, it's sort of our simplistic or even childlike mind, we tend to get locked into thinking that branches are dark, but they are not. They are dark and light. Okay, I'm going to continue just a little bit more. Light stuff. Wow. Every time I look up at that tree, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by the complexity. And yeah, it would take me weeks. It would take me literally weeks to render that tree in a believable, in a realistic. Well, I don't want realism here. I want believable. There, that's a good way to put it. Does that make sense? I don't want totally realistic. I want totally believable tree here. If you want to, in fact, I was going to do this before I left my house this morning. I was going to look up online. Oh my, I think it's John Carlson. Good grief, I'm terrible with names when I'm broadcasting, aren't I? The other day I was looking for Clement Green and Greenberg, couldn't remember his name. Okay, let me see if you've left any comments. Thank you for making comments, folks. Let me go back and catch them all. Good, the sound is okay. Glad to hear. Better at the moment. Thank you, folks. Yeah, bless me for my sneeze. Thank you. That old biddy. What a terrible name. I hope you are not an old biddy. Love it. Okay, describing the layers with the different gold terms. Light, small, real, etc. is very helpful. Good, glad to hear it. Otherwise, the movements are just a series of strokes and hard to learn from. I can understand that. Amorphous sky holes with color variations. That's why I love watching his videos. Thank you, Heather. That's exactly right, Heather. With all of artists, it's all intuitive, so intuitive. It's very hard to put into words. So that's what I'm always struggling to do. Try to figure out how can I describe this in words. Painterly Brushes, a fellow painter. Thanks for joining me again. Yeah, fun to hear the history of that house, huh? Good. Thank you, that old biddy. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for your fellowship. Was there any fighting in this area? He told me around, earlier, there wasn't fighting in the Revolution, but there was movement, much movement during the Civil War. Sherman was in, here's an interesting fact, you know, everybody knows about, and every American knows about the Sherman and his atrocities, burning the South. He was in Raleigh before the end of the war, but Raleigh never got burned, never got destroyed, which is pretty amazing. And it was largely because of General, and I'm forgetting his name is Long, somebody Long, somehow managed to keep Sherman, in some way placated him or something, managed to keep him from burning Raleigh. And General Long, I'm going the wrong way, General Long stayed at this house on his way back to Washington, D.C. So some interesting history right there. Yeah, lots of history. I hate trees. Trees are hard. Yes, you got it right. You got it right. Okay, Joanne, you had a hard time finding me for some reason. I'm not sure. The live stream is offline? Nope, I should be streaming live right as we speak. Okay, thanks. I'm going to hang up here and hang up. I'm going to hang up here and be back in just a few minutes with the next episode. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching.